got somebody for you.
You must be Stan. How you doing?
Released in 1992, My Cousin Vinny became an instant comedy classic, proving that a courtroom drama could be just as hilarious as it was unforgettable. With its brilliant performances, iconic one-liners, and one of the most memorable legal showdowns in movie history, the film continues to win over new generations of fans more than 3 decades later. But what happened to the talented cast who brought these unforgettable characters to life? Some became Academy Award winners and Hollywood icons. Others quietly built remarkable careers away from the spotlight, and sadly, a few are no longer with us. 34 years later, let's revisit the cast of My Cousin Vinny and find out who's still alive in 2026. 10. Pauline Meyers as Constance Riley. Pauline Meyers portrayed Constance Riley, the elderly eyewitness whose testimony added another layer of uncertainty to the murder trial. Soft-spoken and sincere, her character wasn't meant to be the center of attention, yet Meyers' natural performance helped turn a simple courtroom exchange into a scene that audiences still remember more than 3 decades later. By the time she joined My Cousin Vinny, Meyers was already a respected veteran of stage and screen. She began her career in theater before expanding into television and film, earning a reputation for bringing warmth and authenticity to every role she accepted. Throughout the years, she appeared in notable productions such as Lady Sings the Blues, The Sting, The Jeffersons, Good Times, and Days of Our Lives. While she rarely played leading roles, she became one of those dependable performers who always elevated the projects they were part of. Sadly, My Cousin Vinny would become her final film appearance. Pauline Meyers passed away in December 1996 at the age of 83, bringing an end to a career that spanned decades in theater, television, and film. Although she's no longer with us, her work continues to live on through one of Hollywood's most beloved courtroom comedies. But while Pauline Meyers was saying goodbye to Hollywood, the next actor was only getting started. He quietly built a career spanning more than 5 decades, appearing alongside some of the biggest names in the industry. Chances are you've seen him many times, even if you never knew his name. 9. Raina Shiner as Ernie Crane. Raina Shiner played Ernie Crane, the eyewitness who lived near the Sacco Suds convenience store where the robbery and murder took place. During the trial, his testimony became another important piece of the puzzle, and Shiner's natural southern charm made the character feel authentic. While he wasn't one of the film's biggest stars, he certainly helped make the courtroom scenes even more believable. Long before joining the cast of My Cousin Vinny, Shiner had already carved out a successful career as one of Hollywood's most dependable character actors. After My Cousin Vinny, Shiner remained a familiar face throughout the 1990s and 2000s, appearing in films such as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Quick and the Dead, The Rookie, Transamerica, and Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. Today, Raina Shiner continues acting and remains one of Hollywood's respected character actors. But while Raina Shiner quietly enjoyed a long and successful career, the next actor became famous for playing powerful authority figures. Sadly, years after helping make My Cousin Vinny a classic, his life took a heartbreaking turn. 8. Lane Smith as Jim Trotter III. Every great courtroom comedy needs someone to challenge the hero, and in My Cousin Vinny, that role belonged to prosecutor Jim Trotter III. Played by Lane Smith, Trotter was intelligent, confident, and always seemed one step ahead inside the courtroom. By the time My Cousin Vinny premiered, Smith had already become one of television and film's most recognizable character actors. With his commanding voice and authoritative presence, he was frequently cast as judges, lawyers, politicians, and military officials. Following the film's success, his career continued to flourish. Moviegoers saw him in films such as The Distinguished Gentleman, Son-in-Law, and The Legend of Bagger Vance. But television introduced him to an even wider audience. Sadly, tragedy struck in the early 2000s. After battling Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS, Lane Smith passed away in June 2005 at the age of 69. But if you think that's an impressive career, wait until you hear about the next actor. More than 50 years after entering the entertainment industry, he's still proving that passion for acting never grows old. 7. Austin Pendleton as John Gibbons. If there was one character who showed just how desperate Bill and Stan's situation really was, it was their first attorney, John Gibbons. Portrayed by Austin Pendleton, Gibbons was the nervous public defender assigned to represent the two college students before Vinny arrived. His constant hesitation, quiet demeanor, and unforgettable courtroom stumbles provided some of the movie's funniest moments, while also making it clear that Bill and Stan needed someone who could truly fight for them. What many fans don't realize is that Pendleton was already one of the most respected figures in American theater long before My Cousin Vinny. While movie audiences recognized him from supporting roles, the theater world knew him as an accomplished actor, director, playwright, and acting teacher whose influence extended far beyond the screen. After the film's success, Pendleton continued building an extraordinary career that has now spanned more than 6 decades. He appeared in acclaimed films including Guarding Tess, Amistad, A Beautiful Mind, and Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. Television audiences also spotted him in popular series such as Oz and Homicide, Life on the Street, where his distinctive performances once again proved why he was one of Hollywood's most dependable character actors. Away from Hollywood, he's enjoyed an equally impressive personal life, having been married to Katina Cummings since 1970. Together, they've shared more than 5 decades of marriage, a rare achievement in the entertainment industry. Today, Austin Pendleton remains active and widely respected for his work in film and theater, but while Pendleton became a respected mentor on stage, the next actor found success in a completely different way. After appearing in My Cousin Vinny, he reinvented himself behind the microphone, becoming the voice of characters that millions of children would grow up watching. Who made that surprising career move? Let's find out. 6. Mitchell Whitfield as Stan Rothenstein. Mitchell Whitfield portrayed Stan Rothenstein, Bill Gambini's best friend and fellow college student. Wrongfully accused of murder alongside Bill, Stan spent much of the film frightened and uncertain about his future. Whitfield's believable performance helped audiences sympathize with the character, making viewers hope that Vinny would somehow find a way to clear their names before it was too late. Instead of chasing blockbuster fame, he steadily built an impressive resume by appearing in a variety of television series and films throughout the 1990s and beyond. One of his most recognizable roles came on the hit sitcom Friends, where he played Barry Farber, Rachel Green's former fiancé. Even though his appearances were brief, the character became one of the show's memorable recurring roles and introduced Whitfield to millions of television viewers around the world. As animation and video games grew in popularity, Whitfield discovered a new passion as a voice actor. His distinctive voice earned him roles in numerous animated series, including Transformers, Robots in Disguise, Goldie and Bear, Vampirina, and Robo-Gobo. He also voiced characters in several popular video games, proving that success in Hollywood isn't always measured by how often audiences see your face on screen. Today, Mitchell Whitfield continues working in both live action and voice acting. But our next cast member hardly needs an introduction. Long before My Cousin Vinny, he had already become one of the biggest young stars in Hollywood. Just when many believed his best years were behind him, he staged one of the most remarkable career comebacks in recent television history. 5. Ralph Macchio as Bill Gambini. In My Cousin Vinny, Macchio played Bill Gambini, Vinny's cousin, whose vacation quickly turns into a nightmare after he's wrongly accused of murder. While much of the comedy revolves around Joe Pesci's courtroom antics, Macchio gave the film its emotional center. His believable portrayal of a young man facing the possibility of a life sentence made audiences care about the outcome from beginning to end. Of course, movie fans already knew him as Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid franchise. By the early 1990s, Macchio had become one of Hollywood's most recognizable young actors, but that level of fame also came with a challenge. Many people found it difficult to see him as anyone other than the determined teenager who learned karate from Mr. Miyagi. In 2018, Macchio returned to the role that made him famous in the hit series Cobra Kai. Instead of simply revisiting old memories, the show explored Daniel LaRusso's life as an adult, balancing family, business, and the return of old rivalries. What many expected to be a nostalgic reunion quickly became one of television's biggest success stories, attracting both longtime fans and a younger generation discovering the franchise for the first time. The popularity of Cobra Kai gave Macchio's career a remarkable second chapter. His performance earned widespread praise, introduced him to millions of new viewers, and reminded audiences why they had loved Daniel LaRusso in the first place. In 2025, he once again reprised the role in Karate Kid: Legends, proving that some characters truly stand the test of time. Away from Hollywood, Macchio has also enjoyed a remarkably stable personal life. He has been married to his wife, Phyllis Fierro, for nearly 4 decades, and together they have raised 2 children, a rare achievement in an industry where long-lasting marriages are often the exception. Today, Ralph Macchio remains one of Hollywood's most respected actors. But while Ralph Macchio enjoyed an incredible career revival, the next actress became the biggest breakout star of My Cousin Vinny. Her unforgettable performance earned Hollywood's highest honor, launched a remarkable career, and eventually introduced her to millions of Marvel fans around the world. 4. Marisa Tomei as Mona Lisa Vito. When My Cousin Vinny premiered in 1992, audiences expected Joe Pesci to steal the show. Instead, another performer walked away with the film's biggest surprise and one of the most unforgettable performances in comedy history. Marisa Tomei played Mona Lisa Vito, Vinny Gambini's sharp-witted, fiercely loyal fiancée. At first glance, Lisa seemed like the typical supportive girlfriend, but as the story unfolded, she proved to be the smartest person in the courtroom. Her encyclopedic knowledge of automobiles ultimately exposed the flaws in the prosecution's case, turning what had been a hopeless trial into an unforgettable cinematic triumph. With her impeccable comedic timing, unmistakable Brooklyn accent, and effortless chemistry with Joe Pesci, Tomei transformed Mona Lisa Vito into one of the most beloved female characters in film history. Her performance changed everything. In 1993, Marisa Tomei won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the film. Today, her Oscar win is widely recognized as richly deserved, with many considering Mona Lisa Vito one of the greatest comedic performances ever captured on film. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, she demonstrated remarkable versatility, appearing in dramas, romantic comedies, thrillers, and independent films. Her performances in the Bedroom, The Wrestler, and The Big Short earned widespread critical acclaim, including multiple Academy Award nominations, proving that she was far more than a gifted comedic actress. Then came another career-defining opportunity. In 2016, Tomei joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe as May Parker, better known as Aunt May. Instead of portraying the character as the elderly aunt audiences had known for decades, she introduced a fresh, energetic, and modern interpretation that resonated with a whole new generation of moviegoers. Sharing the screen with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Tomei once again demonstrated her ability to reinvent an iconic role while making it entirely her own. Today, Marisa Tomei remains one of Hollywood's most accomplished actresses, but even an Academy Award winner couldn't quite outshine the man who brought Vinny Gambini to life. Our final 2 cast members became true legends, but one of them left us far too soon, while the other quietly stepped away from the spotlight after building one of the greatest careers in movie comedy. 3. Fred Gwynne as Judge Chamberlain Haller. Few actors have ever experienced the kind of career transformation that Fred Gwynne did. To one generation, he was television's lovable Herman Munster. To another, he became one of Hollywood's most unforgettable authority figures. And in My Cousin Vinny, he delivered what many fans consider the finest performance of his later career. As Judge Chamberlain Haller, Gwynne commanded every courtroom scene with remarkable presence. At first, the judge seems impatient and skeptical of Vinny Gambini's unconventional style, especially after their hilarious disagreements over courtroom attire and legal procedure. But beneath his stern exterior was a fair-minded judge determined to ensure justice prevailed. Gwynne balanced authority with subtle humor so effortlessly that he became one of the film's most memorable characters. He first rose to fame in the 1960s as Herman Munster in the classic sitcom The Munsters. While the role made him a household name, it also threatened to overshadow the rest of his career. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Gwynne took on more dramatic roles that showcased the depth of his talent. He appeared in acclaimed films such as The Cotton Club, Pet Sematary, and The Secret of My Success, earning praise for performances that were vastly different from the comedic character that had first made him famous. Just over a year after the film's release, Fred Gwynne passed away on July 2, 1993, after battling pancreatic cancer. He was 66 years old. His death marked the loss of a truly gifted performer whose career spanned television, film, theatre, and even children's literature. Although he left us far too soon, Judge Haller remains one of the most beloved judges in movie history and a lasting reminder of Gwynne's extraordinary talent. But before we reveal the actor who brought Vinny Gambini to life, there's one more Hollywood legend whose unforgettable performance helped make this courtroom comedy the timeless classic we still celebrate today. 2. Bruce McGill as Sheriff Dean Farley. By the time Bruce McGill appeared in My Cousin Vinny, he had already earned a reputation as one of Hollywood's most dependable character actors. He wasn't always the leading man, but whenever he appeared on screen, audiences knew they were in for a memorable performance. In the film, McGill played Sheriff Dean Farley, the local lawman responsible for investigating the convenience store murder that turns Bill Gambini and Stan Rothenstein's lives upside down. Convinced he had arrested the right suspects, Farley represents the confidence and occasional overconfidence of a small-town investigation. While his role isn't as flashy as those of the courtroom lawyers, it's an essential part of the story, setting the stage for Vinny's uphill battle to uncover the truth. Although My Cousin Vinny remains one of his best-known films, it represents just one chapter in an extraordinary career spanning more than 5 decades. He later appeared in films including Animal House, Lincoln, and Collateral, while television audiences also recognized him from series such as MacGyver, Suits, and Reacher. Today, Bruce McGill continues appearing in film and television, and now we've reached the actor whose unforgettable performance gave My Cousin Vinny its heart, its humor, and its enduring charm. More than 3 decades after the film's release, he's still regarded as one of the greatest character actors of his generation. 1. Joe Pesci as Vinny Gambini. Joe Pesci's portrayal of Vincent Vinny Gambini turned what could have been an ordinary courtroom comedy into one of the most beloved films of all time. Loud, impatient, inexperienced, yet surprisingly brilliant when it mattered most, Vinny wasn't the polished lawyer anyone expected. In fact, he had only recently passed the bar after failing the exam multiple times, but beneath his rough-around-the-edges personality was a sharp legal mind that ultimately uncovered the truth and saved 2 innocent young men. His life changed dramatically after Robert De Niro recommended him to director Martin Scorsese, leading to his explosive performance in Raging Bull. That breakthrough opened the door to a remarkable run of films that included Once Upon a Time in America, Lethal Weapon 2, Goodfellas, Home Alone, JFK Casino, and of course, My Cousin Vinny. In 1991, he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his unforgettable portrayal of Tommy DeVito in Goodfellas. It remains one of the most celebrated performances in crime film history and firmly established Pesci among Hollywood's elite. In the late 1990s, he gradually stepped away from acting, choosing a quieter life away from Hollywood. Unlike many stars who constantly sought new roles, Pesci became extremely selective, appearing only in projects that genuinely interested him. His long absences from the screen only added to the mystique surrounding his career. In 2019, he returned in The Irishman, earning another Academy Award nomination for his acclaimed performance. More than 3 decades later, Vinny Gambini remains one of the greatest comedy characters ever put on screen, a fitting legacy for one of Hollywood's most unforgettable actors. 34 years after its release, My Cousin Vinny remains one of the greatest courtroom comedies ever made. While we've sadly lost legends like Fred Gwynne, Lane Smith, and Pauline Meyers, the rest of the principal cast continues to carry the film's legacy forward through remarkable careers in film, television, theatre, and voice acting. Their performances have ensured that new generations continue to discover and fall in love with this timeless classic. Which member of the My Cousin Vinny cast surprised you the most? And what's your favourite scene from the movie? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another then and now journey into Hollywood's greatest classics. Until next time, thanks for watching.